Hey, Doc Martinez here, and thank you for joining me again on another journey down the old-fashioned rabbit hole. With the House of Dragon in full swing, I've decided to use that as inspiration to make my Targaryen Dragon Breath Old-Fashioned. For this, we'll be using the Johnnie Walker's A Song of Fire Game of Thrones Limited Edition Blended Scotch Whisky. No E in that whiskey. If you want to skip that history and go straight to making the drink, look at the chapter timestamps below in the video. The story of Johnnie Walker and the whiskey history begins naturally enough with the man who gave the whiskey its name. There was always something special about John, even at the age of 15. His father had died, and within the year the family had sold the farm and used that money to set up his own grocery shop in the local town of Kilmarnock, Scotland. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, so let me know in the comments below. In those days, most grocers stocked a line of single malts, but they never had the consistent taste. Mr. Walker, being a savvy businessman, made his whiskey through blending, giving him the ability to maintain good flavor quality in every bottle. This proved to be an extremely popular addition to his inventory. The popularity of his signature blend continued to grow until his death in 1857. After his death, the family business was taken over by his son Alexander. Alexander Walker created a distribution network that shipped John's whiskey worldwide. The famous square bottle and the 24 degree slanted label were introduced shortly thereafter. Now, many historians consider Alexander to be the real driving force that took Johnnie Walker Scotch Whisky from a hometown bestseller to a globally recognized brand. It was Alexander's sons who introduced the naming conventions of Red Label and Black Label in 1909. Cocktail quiz time! How did Johnnie Walker get a red and a black label? You'll need to keep in stride to find out. Johnnie Walker's A Song of Fire is a blended Scotch whiskey inspired by the fire-breathing beasts of the sky. Peated malt from Caol Ila lends a supple smoke, tempered by rich, rounded sweetness. To this, we will add Dragon Breath simple syrup to add some heat and sweetness. There will be a link to how to make that below. Fire consumes everything it touches. Fire courses through the veins of House Targaryen and is made flesh in the form of its dragons. With fire in their blood, the Targaryen Dragons breathe ferocious flames. Johnnie Walker does have its old-fashioned recipe on their website, and we'll leave a link to that in the description below. If you're enjoying these videos, please hit that like button and subscribe. Now, let's make a Targaryen Dragon Breath Old-Fashioned. Targaryen Dragon Breath Old-Fashioned ingredients. 2 ounces Johnnie Walker's A Song of Fire. Half an ounce of Dragon Breath simple syrup. 1 dash of spicy bitters. 1 to 2 dashes of orange bitters. An orange. Making a Targaryen Dragon Breath Old-Fashioned. In a mixing glass with ice, add half an ounce of Dragon Breath simple syrup. Link to the recipe below. With 1 dash of spicy bitters and 1 to 2 dashes of orange bitters. Pour in the 2 ounces of Johnnie Walker's A Song of Fire. Stir until chipped. In a rock glass, add a quarter slice of orange and muddle. Add a large ice on top of the muddled orange. Strain the cocktail into the glass with ice. Now, flame the orange peel over the drink. Garnish with a quarter slice of orange and a dried pepper. Cocktail quiz time! How did Johnnie Walker get a red and a black label? Answer: when illustrator Tom Brown sketched the Striding Man figure for them, they renamed their whiskeys after the label colors. Johnnie Walker Red Label and Black Label were born. So here we are. We're back to test the Targaryen Dragon Breath Old-Fashioned that I made. I'm pretty excited about this. I do want to talk a little bit about the simple syrup. There is going to be a link to the recipe below. However, when I first made it the first time, I did only use the 6 peppers and 1 ghost pepper. I didn't cut any of them, so when I did make the simple syrup and I tasted it afterwards, it had a little bit of mild heat, but not very much. So if you're the type of person that likes very minimal heat, but want to try this, that's the way to go. You can even leave out the ghost pepper if you don't want to, worry about that extra heat that stays at the end. But I didn't feel like it was enough to be called Dragon's Breath, so that might be the baby Dragon's Breath, the old simple syrup. To make this one, the link's below, but I did add more. I did cut the peppers when I was boiling them, and that actually brought out a lot more of the heat. So I did add the little bit of glitter to give you the Dragon Breath simple syrup here that we have. I like the look of it, I like the taste of it, and I think this is going to be really good with our drink here. Let's give this a try. The Dragon Breath Targaryen Old-Fashioned cocktail. Ooh. Okay, that is pretty nice. This is my first time tasting it, so I hadn't tasted it before this because I wanted to see what it felt like once I tasted the whole thing. Now, I had tasted the simple syrup just with the little tip of my finger, and it had some nice heat. But once mixed it into this, I like it. I like it a lot. Now, that heat does hit you up front, then you get the nice, smooth Johnnie Walker from it. All right, so I did step away for a second because I forgot to bring the bottle back in here with me. But yes, this is even a better drink than I thought. I like Johnnie Walker. This mix is actually very excellent. Yes, I like the smoothness of it. I like the heat just hits you right after you get the taste. There's a good amount of little heat there. Doesn't stay very long. I can still taste it. I like that it has a little bit of spark on it. It's hard to see it with this lighting, but there's a little bit of sparkle. The orange and that smoky bitters, the chili bitters, is actually really complementary to each other. So the orange, the bitters, the little chili complement each other very well. Makes this a very well balanced drink. A lot better than I thought it would be too. I thought I was going to be good, but this is actually a lot better. I'm going to give it a 9.4 on this scale. I really like it. It's even better than I thought it would be, even though I thought it was going to be good. This is a really good drink. I really recommend that you try it. If you can grab a bottle of this, I'd suggest you get it. But I think if you use any Johnnie Walker, this actually will be a very good mixed drink. Cheers, and to our next journey down the old-fashioned rabbit hole.